Welcome to another episode of Objective Bias featuring yours truly. And on this particular episode, I want to discuss some things over time that have affected me indirectly. Um, and it is a big issue within our community, amongst all communities, but of course, I'm speaking about our community, the black people, because I feel like these are subjects that are rarely discussed, ignored, or even swept under the rug. I think when it comes to mental awareness, mental health awareness, substance or alcohol abuse, we rarely talk about it openly amongst ourselves for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but it is a thing, unfortunately. Over time, I've had a few experiences with old friends, best friends at a point in time, to where now we're not as cool as we used to be. Not by any means for anything I did or they did specifically, but unfortunately, with the things they deal with, the trials and tribulations that they have, whether it's mentally, dealing with alcohol or substance abuse, it really has, put a strain on our relationship, so to speak. And even in one case, one of them I don't speak to at all anymore. And this, as unfortunate as it is, I had to sever ties because it just was not beneficial for me to have them in my life in that capacity anymore. And it's really unfortunate, but it really is what it is. You dig what I mean? But and I'm also getting into this in hopes that any one of these individuals come across this pod and view it as this is coming from love, and it provides them a moment to self-reflect to where they can get the help they need or start moving towards seeking ways to help themselves out, because this adult life that we live in is fucking hard as shit. Like, that's just, it is what it is. Like, we all go through our trials or tribulations, whether it's something dealing with our families, jobs, personally, health wise, mentally, and the list goes on, But, we have to strive to do our best to do what we can to continue to be productive and live the best life that we can. So with these stories that I'm about to get into, I just want to say I love all of y'all, man. Y'all still my motherfucking people. It's just that I just hope that y'all get the help you need. So the first story, and okay, before I even get into these, of course, I'm not going to use any names because I do want to protect their identities, and for privacy reasons, I don't want to, just put that shit out there. These are only experiences that I've had with them specifically, and it's like, I got to tell my story in hopes that it helps them eventually. So the first story I want to start with, this particular individual, we were like best friends, not even like best friends. We were best friends like all throughout high school and early adulthood. Like, everything that, from going out, having fun, turning up, all of the above. This was one of my right-hand men. You feel me? But unfortunately, things took a turn for the worse for this individual. And it's so crazy because I was actually talking to a friend of mine recently, and we both agreed that, when we all were going through it, getting drunk, pre-gaming, going out, having a good time, now that we look back, there were some signs that we kind of missed with this particular individual. I remember in one instance, I actually snapped on him for just doing the dumbest shit ever, and they kind of made me go off, and I didn't realize that over time I was holding all of this energy, right? But there was one night or one evening, right? It's me, it's him, and we go on a little double date or whatever. We take these girls out, go to the bars, bar hop, and just, we just kicking it. Afterwards, we come back to my place, which was an apartment at the time, and my date was ready to go home, which, it didn't bother me because it really was just one of those respectful ass dates. So I tell my partner, right, to hold it down. hey, I'm gonna be back. Y'all can kick it here, and in my living room, and I'll just drop my friend off, my female friend that is, and I trust this dude, so I didn't really think nothing of it, just to leave him in my living room while I go take my female friend home. So I do that and drop her off, and I come back to the apartment, right? And at this time, it's a 3-bedroom apartment. I share with two other homies of mine's. And when I get there, he is in my homie's room attempting to get it in with this individual, this girl or whatever. And I just go to fuck off. Like, why the fuck would you be so idiotic to do that? And of all things, being my roommate's room versus mine. Now, I'm upset that you even tried this in the manner that you did. But, bro, are you not thinking? You did? That's what I'm thinking at the time. Are you not thinking, like, why the fuck are you doing this in my room? If anything, if you're going to attempt to get it in, you know what I mean, try to goddamn fuck, so to speak, go do that shit in my room. You know what I'm saying? I can handle that'll be isolated in my room. Of course, I don't want you to do it, but goddamn, if you're going to do it, do it. Do it there. You feel me? So I just go off like, and he at this time he's still staying with his people. So while we're in the car, I'm just going off and I'm like, hey, why the fuck every time you get drunk, you do some dumbass shit? Like, I'm going off, right? And he looks at me like, hey, Swat, why are you talking to me like that? This, that, and the third. And I'm steady going at him like, cause you always doing dumb shit when we drink. You just randomly doing something. You randomly kissing some girl. You're drinking out the bottle. You're the stuff like this tonight. You're always doing something of this sort, and I'm tired of that shit. And that should have been a red flag for me. So shortly after that, we stopped kicking it, right? And it was kind of on some. I had to deal with my life, and I didn't have time for that, respectfully. Like, I didn't have nothing against him. We still was cool. It just, I had shit going on in my life. Now, as time went on, we're getting older, I'm starting to hear rumors about him. Like, there was one rumor that somebody saw him sleeping on a park bench early in the morning. He has a drinking problem. He's out of control and all of the above. But me personally, because I didn't see that, I didn't want to take the rumors and just run with it like, oh, this is exactly what's happening. I didn't want to do that. That was my friend. And, people just talk sometimes. Hell, I remember way back when I had gotten in trouble, doing some shit. I got in a little trouble when I was young, young and thugging out here. Well, not thugging by any means, but you get what I mean. And I got arrested for some dumb shit I did. And there was a rumor going around that I was selling drugs out of my mom's house. Again, because of that was definitely not the reason I got locked up. I've never sold drugs in my life, but that was the rumor that was going around. So I say that to say, just because people are saying shit, if I don't see it or I don't witness it or I'm not a part of it, I'm just not going to automatically believe that shit. So, but it wasn't like consistent, but I was hearing things over time. So we've gotten a little older. And one day I'm going by a car dealership and I see him. So I said, oh, is that, so-and-so? Let me pull up and say, what's up? Pull up, hey, what's going on, bro? Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, yeah, how you been? This, that, and the third. Hey, we need to catch up, hang out, and, do our thing. I'm like, cool. I'll hit you up. Maybe we can, hit a bar, catch a game, and, just catch up like old time's sake. So, I'm like, okay, cool. So mind you, before I even get into more of the story, on social media, I'm seeing him post stuff, post things like, oh, I got a new crib, I got a new car, I got this, I got that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Me personally, I don't do shit like that, but to each his own. If that's what you do, I'm like, okay, it look like you're doing good out here, like I'm happy you're thriving, so to speak. That's how I'm feeling as I'm seeing this online. So The day comes, right? Or the evening comes. We're about to go to Hooters, to be exact. That was always his favorite spot for whatever reason. I mean, I know why, but you know, I've never really been a Hooters person, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm like, yeah, let's go catch this game. He's like, oh yeah, let's meet up at Hooters. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let's meet up at Hooters. So on the day or the evening that we're gonna meet up, I get a text or a call. I can't remember exactly the communication. He like, hey, can you come pick me up? That should have been the first red flag for me. But I was like, what? Why? Why am I about to go pick up another, grown man? But I don't think none of them. Like, okay, it's still my partner. Maybe he had his cars in the shop or whatever the case may be. And I don't really think too much of it. But I'm like, okay, I'll come pick you up. I'm gonna pick you up by this time. Just shoot me your address. I'll come pick you up. So he shoots me the address, and as I pull up to the destination, it's an extended stay, and I'm like, uh, I thought this nigga had a townhouse. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck? Like, what's happening? You know what I mean? So I was a little concerned, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see how this evening plays out. And he comes out of the hotel room. So he gets into the car. Now, here goes again. I just was ignoring all of these things, and I think it's because this is my, my former best friend. I still, I got love for you, and I don't want to, believe what I'm hearing, but the signs are there. I'm just not paying attention to it. So when he comes out, he's in the same outfit that he had on at the car dealership. I'm like, is what's going on? Like, I'm not asking anything just yet, but in my head, I'm like, okay, is he being funny? Is he being silly? And I kind of thought it was him being silly because he did shit like that. Like, he was always wearing random things when we went out, and that just was his swag, his style. So I'm like, maybe this is your swag and style too. I don't know, but again, another red flag that I am not really paying attention to. I'm observing it, but I'm just like in the back of my mind, just see how this night plays out. I don't want to end it before it began. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see what's up, see how you been. So he gets in the car, right, and we drive, or I drive us to Hooters, and when we get there, this man can't find his wallet. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I ain't about to goddamn pay for another nigga. Like, what the fuck do I look like? But yeah, that is not happening. You feel me? But anyways, I'm like, did you drop it? Did you leave it at your hotel? Did you, I'm trying to figure it out for him because we're not about to go into the establishment and I'm paying for you. Like, that's where I draw the line. Because this is not a motherfucking date, my nigga. Like, respectfully. You get what I'm saying? But we turn around, we go back to the hotel, and he then dropped his wallet right in front of his room door. And once he gets back in the car, I'm like, yo, you drunk? He does not answer the question. His reply was, are you drunk? Oh my God. Really? Why? So you're gonna answer my question with a question of your own, asking, am I drunk? I haven't had anything to drink. But the reason I asked him was the things that I've heard is starting to come back to light in my head. Like, does this motherfucker have a drinking problem? Like, you don't have a car. You're at an extended stay. You're dropping your wallet right in front of your door. What the fuck going on? So he gets back in the car. I just kind of ignore the line of questioning back to me. I'm like, okay. Again, I'm not trying to end the night before it begins. So we get to Hooters, right? And we actually met a mutual friend there, which is crazy because he's actually in the next story that I'm get into after this. So we meet the mutual friend there, and I grab me something to eat. The mutual friend grabs him something to eat, and the homie I'm talking about, he proceeds to get drinks, no food, just drinks. And don't get it fucked up or confused. I enjoy partaking with the best of them. But one thing I'm gonna do is eat before I drink. Like that's law. You did. But he's just, just ordering drinks and that's all he's doing. We order our food. He's annoying the waitresses, kind of like antagonizing them in a sense. Like you can tell that they're getting uncomfortable with his advances, his what he's saying. He's becoming very annoying to the waitresses. Also, he's picking off like my partner's food. Like, hey, are you gonna eat that or can I have some? And I'm just like, this night is not really unfolding how I want it to unfold. Like, I'm not enjoying myself. This is kind of awkward at this moment. You're ordering nothing but drinks. You're picking off my man's food, my man's plate. You're annoying the waitresses. I'm not fucking with the vibe, you know. So we're talking. So we don't really catch up with nothing. It's just a lot of random conversations, and we had met up to watch a game. Actually, um, that was the purpose of us meeting, catching up, grabbing something to eat, maybe a drink, watch the game, and catch up in that manner. I lied to you not. When it got to halftime, I was ready to go. So I told bro, I was like, "Hey, you need me to take you back to the crib because I'm about to head home." Because again, the vibe is all off. I don't want to even be in this environment. One thing about me, if I feel uncomfortable, if I feel like something's a little sketchy, or I feel like shit is off, wherever I may be, I'm gonna exit left, like respectfully. Like let me go ahead and get out of Dodge real quick. I don't want to be involved in no bullshit. Let me get up out of here. That's how I rock. So I'm like, hey, bro, you want me to take you to the crib? He's like, nah. So he asked the mutual friend. He's like, oh, can you take me? And he's like, yeah, I got you. I'm like, all right, y'all. I'm about to be out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because again, the vibes all off. I'm not fucking with it right now. So I head to the crib. I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and just get on with my I believe it was like a Friday evening. Let me get on with my Friday evening. Just kick it, chill, whatever the case may be. So the night comes to an end. The next day, I call our mutual friend. I'm like, hey, bro, was it me or was like shit kind of off yesterday night with oh boy? He proceeds to tell me that when I left or before they left, he causes a big commotion trying to get out of paying for his drinks, um, complaining about the service and all of the above. I'm like, really, bro? He did that? So I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I got up out of that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad. Like, shit, I dodged a bullet with that one. You get what I'm saying? So, maybe like a day or so later, I get like a random call from him, right? And he is pretty much talking crazy, making mention of somebody done killed his family. They didn't got him, his mama, his sister. They doing some shit. I'm like, hold up, bro, what the fuck going on? Like, hey, what? And it doesn't make sense to me because in this moment, why are you calling me? First of all, two, why are you not calling the police? Three, you just sound crazy, like just on some random ass shit. So I get off the phone with him. I'm like, okay, bro, let me make some calls, see what's going on and shit. So I call a member of his family, and I'm like, hey, your people just called me saying they done killed his mom, his sister, and this, that, and the third. He's like, hold up, bro, what? I'm like, he like, okay, let me check a few things out. I'm gonna get back with you. So his family member calls me back. He like, man, I just saw my cousin post some on social media. Ain't nothing going on. They probably taking him to rehab or some shit. I'm like, rehab? The fuck? So is that bad? I'm like, okay, shit. Damn, that's tough. So, I'm like, shit. I just kind of leave it there, and I'm like, I hope things work out for him. That's pretty much my position, my approach. The next day, it may be the next day. The next day or two, he gives me a call. The guy I'm talking about, my former best friend. He calls me calm and acting like nothing just happened with him giving me a call a day or so ago, talking crazy. So I'm like, hey, bro, you good? You're like, what you mean? I like, you don't remember calling me the other day talking crazy about they didn't killed your mom and your sister and this that, and the third. He pretty much ignores that question and like proceeds to try to have a normal conversation. I'm like, hey, bruh, nah, we ain't doing that. What's going on, my G? I'm hearing things. What's up? What's up with you, bruh? And the next statement he says is what pretty much cut off our friendship, so to speak. I mean, we ain't beefing or nothing like that, but this was pretty much the end of our great friendship. He said, uh, "The perception is not always the reality." In my head, I'm like, nigga, who the fuck you think you talking to? Like, I ain't no naive dumbass motherfucker. So once he said that, I was like, you know what, bro? I can't see myself and you just kicking it like that anymore. Like until you can, get yourself together, I'm good, bro. And the reason I said that and I had that approach because if you're, and again, he did not have to specifically tell me what he was going through, but I felt like because we were such good friends, or at least I thought that you could at least say something to the effect of, hey man, I'm just going through some shit right now. I'm trying to get myself together, but I don't want to really get into the details. And kept it like that. And I'm like, I wish you the best. And anything I can do, let me know to try to help you or support you. Because I'm a friend, but because you didn't do that and you just kind of gave me that bullshit ass statement, I don't really know what you're capable of. And I don't want to put myself in the position to where, and I think, I can think of I think of extreme shit when it comes to somebody down bad. You may try to steal from me. You may put me in a position to where, my life is in danger in whatever form that may be. So I can't really rock with you, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And fast forward to current time, just a few weeks ago, I was speaking to a mutual friend of ours, and I was just asking, "Hey, bro, you heard about so and so? He doing all right?" He like, "Yeah, he moved down to this particular part of the state to go to rehab," and that's when it was confirmed. I don't know if he did it on his own or he was forced, but I just hope that he's getting the help he needs. You feel me? Because alcoholism is a real motherfucking thing, and it's crazy because unless somebody tells you, you may think that you're functioning in an ordinary manner, and you just fucked up out here, and everybody can see that shit. You know what I mean? But hopefully, my guy's getting the help he needs. Hopefully, he's still in rehab or he's gotten out and has turned his life, and he's productive now. But if not, I send my thoughts and prayers to him, bro. Hopefully you get better, my G. If you're still, struggling. But yeah, that was pretty tough for me because, like I said, that was one of my guys, man. Like that was really one of my dogs, and it's sad that whatever happened in life for him caused him to fold, figuratively speaking, and resort to alcohol. It's sad, but I just wish him the best, for real, for real. And I hope he gets the help he needs. So that was one of my best friends growing up. Now, this next story is about another best friend of mine, a former best friend. We was actually best friends in middle school. Used to, play ball with him at his house, play games, I knew his mom. We were best friends. And unfortunately, when we got to high school, that's when we kind of went in our separate directions because I was a ball player. I made the basketball team. He did try out. He didn't make it, unfortunately. And at this time, I only was hanging out with the athletes. So pretty much that's the direction I went, and he went in his own direction, right? And we just never, our friendship unfortunately dissolved over time. And it was like something that I didn't even realized. It just kind of happened. I don't know. It's because of the crowd I was hanging with versus the crowd he was hanging with, but that's pretty much what happened. So fast forward to us being adults. We reconnected actually on Facebook and, exchanged numbers and eventually linked up. So, we started kicking it a little bit. We probably hung out, what, two, maybe three times before shit hit the fan, figuratively speaking. And during the times where we was hanging out, we catching up, he kind of he opened up to me and told me he dealt with being a schizophrenic. And I was kind of taken aback, but I wasn't like going to just be like, oh, I can't fuck with you because you got this mental shit going on. Cause I empathize. I actually have a family member that is bipolar, and me seeing how, my family member outside of the actual family doesn't really have a support system like friends and, people like that. I'm like, for this individual, my former best friend, let me, just kick it with you. I'm sure people have written you off because of your situation, and maybe I can be a positive influence for you. Not really an influence, but provide, just a positive friendship to where, it can assist you with, continuing to move and be a productive citizen out here. You know what I mean? So I wasn't going to write them off or whatever. So I continued to kick it with him. Unfortunately, I was at work, and this was on a Friday as well. I get this random ass text like, "Hey, bruh, I heard you talking shit. I'll pull up on you, and we can shoot a fair one." Pretty much. I'm paraphrasing, can't remember exactly what he said, but I'm like, "Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about?" Because I'm confused. I'm literally confused. So I'm going back and forth with him or with his text messages, trying to figure out what the fuck he's talking about. And he's like, "Yeah, you said you would fuck me up. You said you would do this, that, and the third, and ABC 1 through 3." I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" So I get to thinking, right, pondering, like, where is this motherfucker going with this shit, right? And then I remember a conversation we had during one of the times we was hanging out. It was actually at my crib, and I made a joke. And the joke was like he told me a story about him, he suffers from paranoia as well. He had actually swung on a cop and they fucked him up. He went to jail because of that, because he thought that, in his mind, like the cop was stalking him or whatever the case may be. And I just simply said, "Man, I hope you don't never goddamn have an episode with me, because I don't want to have to fuck you up." Jokingly, we both laughed like it was a joke. Like it was not meant to be taken serious. You did what I mean? And months later, I guess he was having an episode. His in his mind, he remembered me saying that, and at this time, he's taking it seriously. Like it was an actual threat versus a joke. And I had called him like, no, I ain't calling because I'm still at work. I'm like, "Oh, I was just joking. We were laughing. I was not serious." You feel me? Like, and he still added, like, he's still, in his mind, in this moment, he's still taking it serious. He's not even taking what I'm saying at this moment, trying to remind him that it was a joke. In his mind, I was a threat to him. So pretty much, I was like, let me go ahead and end this, because I'm not sure what the fuck you talking about, bro. But it's obvious you having an episode. So I ain't, I stopped texting. I'm at work. So when I get off, I'm actually on the way to the barbershop, and I just hit him up, right? I give him a call just to check on him, like to see if he's okay. I'm like, "Hey, bro, you all right, bro?" You know what I'm saying? He'll, oh shit, you trying to meet up? He's talking about he want to fight. I'm like, "Bro, nah, nigga, like, I'm trying to check to make sure you straight. Nah, I can pull up on you right now if you're trying to see what you trying to get it in." I'm like, "Hey, bro, don't goddamn, don't goddamn pull up to wherever I'm at. Especially don't pull up at the crib, bro. Like, yeah, I ain't about to be on that type time with you. But also, I'm a man at the end of the day, so you ain't gonna keep talking to me crazy. You feel me? Like, it ain't gonna be that type of party." But hung up the phone like I like, hey, do not show up to my crib. Do not show up wherever, just leave it where it's at. Like, that's it. So I'm thinking it's over with, right? Go get my hair cut. I even tell my barber the story, and he laughing like, God damn, motherfucker. We just joking in the moment. Not really, because I'm not thinking he's about to, do anything. He was just expressing over the phone or via text. I'm just thinking he's having an episode. So I get home, right? And the crazy thing, I'm hungry. I'm like, shit, let me goddamn put something on the grill. I put me a salmon on the grill. And I'm about to go take a shower and shit. You know what I'm saying? Do my thing. And next thing I know, I hear like my doorbell ring. In my head, I'm like, I hope this nigga did not show up to my place of residence. Guess what? It was him.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus. So, let me tell you, I had a flashback, right? When we was in middle school, he stole, if you don't know what stole means, that means sucker punch, this white boy that was talking shit. So in my mind, I don't know why I thought about middle school that. I'm like, I hope this nigga is not dumb enough to try to swing on me, but I do remember him sucker punching a motherfucking in seventh grade. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know why my mind went back there, but it triggered that memory for me, right? So I take off my shirt just in case. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I open the door, right? I'm like, bro, what are you doing here? He's like, let me talk to you. I'm like, bro, go home, my nigga. Like, the fuck is you doing here? Hey, bro, let me talk to you. That's what he kept saying. So I step outside, right? And I'm just waiting for him to do something stupid. Guess what he does? He tries to sucker punch me. But again, remember, I told you, I remembered him doing that when we was in middle school, so I was kind of prepared. So I dodged it, grabbed him, put him in the headlock. And I have him in the longest headlock, right? Have him in the headlock, and he's wilding out and being calm at the same time. So he's going from, all right, bro, I'm good, to, oh, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Bro, I'm not letting you go. So I'm like, hey, bro, hey, leave, dude. So I'm telling him, like, nigga, just go home, bro, because if somebody come out, the cops are going to get called. He's still up in that, just, going from calm to he's going to beat my ass, to calm to he's going to beat my ass. I probably had him in a headlock for at least 10 to 15 minutes. And, of course, someone comes out. The cops get called. He gets arrested. Now, I'm glad. I'm glad that they did come because my ass was getting fucking tired in that motherfucking headlock. Like, the fuck? Like, I'm glad they came because, truth be told, I would have had to defend myself at that time. But the thing about it is, because I knew of his mental condition, I wasn't like mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not mad at you, I try to hurt you because you're going through something right now. You're having an episode right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I have a family member that deals with bipolar, so I've seen this before. Like I've had to actually walk away because I was about to knock this family member's block off, but I had to walk away one time because I know you're not in your right mind, and I have to control myself so I don't, cause, pain to you because of your mental condition that you can't help. So, so he gets hauled off to jail, and I hear him as the cops are taking him away, yelling like, I'm gonna beat your ass, all this other shit. I'm like, God damn, bro. This is fucked up because I felt like you were kind of, from the stories you told me, that you were, doing all right out here. Now you've set yourself back again because, like I told you before, he told me a story about him swinging on an officer because he was paranoid that the officer was stalking him, and he was in jail. So he goes right back to jail. And unfortunately, I have to go put a restraining order on him because he knows where I stay. He knows where I work because we've talked about jobs. Even had to do that at the job because I'm like, I can't have you coming up to my job trying to fuck some shit up for me. Like, it can't be that. So that was unfortunate. Even when I had to go to court and all of that, when he came out, and I guess he told his side of the story, and this was to get the restraining order gone. They had brought him out in one of those chairs to where they strapped in to make sure they can't, hurt anybody else or hurt themselves. That's what they brought him out at. And in his account of the story, we were fighting. No, we were not fighting. You swung on me and I put you in the headlock, bro. That's what happened. Because again, I wasn't trying to fight you. You the one that started it, but because of his mental state, that's what he felt. That's what he remembered. The judge granted the restraining order. Actually had a conversation with his mom and his brother because, like I told you, we were best friends in middle school, and it was crazy because, no pun intended, of course, it was crazy because when me and his mother talked, it was like she was kind of hesitant to speak about, what she has dealt with or his situation. And again, it's something about our Black community to where we don't talk about this shit. And I had to tell her, I got a family member that's bipolar. And when I said that, it was like a sound of relief came out. Like she took a breath, like, oh, so you understand. I'm like, yeah, I get it. That's why, I did what I did. I didn't hurt him. Cops were called. He went to jail. I didn't want to hurt him because I've been through this before. And, she kind of told me everything that she's kind of dealt with him and how she had called him that day and he sounded like he was off, like his levels were off. She had tried to go over there. He wasn't there, opening the door, some shit. So, yeah, he was just having an entire episode. And same with his brother. His brother said their relationship is strained. They don't talk like that because of his condition. And it's like, damn, I just felt bad because unfortunately, society is not really set up, which I disagree with 100%, to assist in the full capacity with mentally ill individuals. It's like it's not as important as other things. It's way down the totem pole of importance in our society, which I just don't get for the life of me, but it is what it is, and that's that. So unfortunately, I had to, block his number, blocked him on social media. It's like, damn, bro, I don't want to do this, but I have no choice. You tried to attack me. Of course, I did what I needed to do to defend myself by putting you in the headlock, and then you was off the jail. That was the end of that relationship. So me and him don't talk at all anymore, obviously, because of that. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's real. But yeah, that's that story. Now my final story this is actually a person when I moved to the county that I currently live in. We moved out here in middle school. This was the first person I ever met when I moved to this county. So that's how far we go back. So we was best friends for the longest. He was actually a ball player himself. We played basketball on the same team, same AAU teams, high school team briefly until he transferred to another school. I believe going into our junior year. No, going into our senior year, he ended up transferring to another school. And that was that. We still was, great friends. But as we got older, I started to notice that, again, I'm a drinker. I love to partake, but I don't drink like that. What I mean, like every day, all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, when we got together a couple times, we would, partake and drink. And what I noticed is when I was getting drunk, he was still the same. Like this, I was like, damn, this motherfucker can drink. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't really thinking nothing of it. So when I finally started to think it was an issue, right? He cut hair on the side. And one time, I went over to his place. He's like, "Yeah, I'll give you a cut," but he was gonna give me a cut for free. So I'm like, "Shit, I'll pull up for a free haircut." Shit, hell, you talking about? you know? When I get there, he like, "Oh, you want a shot?" Middle of the day now, and I have a rule for me: I don't day drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't. Like, I'm the type of motherfucker. If I go to a restaurant, hey, give me some water. Like, I'm not that person. Like, I don't day drink. Like, but he like, hey, you want a shot? Like, no, I'm good, bro. He over there, he done took him a shot and he proceeds to cut my hair. I'm like, why is you just randomly drinking midday like that? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking in my head. Of course, I don't ask him, but I'm like, okay. So that was that. That's when I realized there may be an issue with his drinking. Fast forward some time, he started to be very random with his communication. And you can always tell, well, for the most part, especially if you participate in drinking, you can usually tell when a motherfucker's inebriated. You know what I mean? And that was definitely him. And it was so crazy. I was getting like messages here and there from like, mutual friends that we went to school with, and one motherfucker asked me, is he like slow now, or is something mentally wrong with him? I like, nah, he just be drunk all the time. Like, that's all, And I remember even running to a mutual friend that he played when he transferred to this other school. He played on their team, but we, this mutual individual, we knew each other because we played against each other for so long. And we was at a game. He was like, yeah, what's up? He was like, what's up with your boy or whatever. I like, yeah, shit, I don't know. He out here. That's all I could say. And then his response like, yeah, man, he always drunk. I'm like, damn. So now everybody knows it. So it's a problem when everybody kind of notices it. And I got people hitting me up asking if he's slow. And I got to say, nah, he's just drunk. You know what I'm saying? So, I kind of, moved in a different direction. Like I said, I do like to drink, but I can't put myself around someone that has a drinking problem, because that's a different that's a different animal. You dig what I mean? And of course, I'm not easily influenced at all, but I don't want to be around that negative space to, when someone has a problem, me being around that shit. Like, I got to deal with my own trials and tribulations. I don't really have the space to be involved with that, respectfully. So I kind of pulled back from the friendship. But every now and then, I'll see him, or we'll run across each other, or whatever the case may be, and keep it moving. So recently, I had a birthday, right? And it's crazy because his birthday is actually 10 days before mine. So for my birthday, did a little fight party / birthday kickback. You know what I'm saying? And I invited him. I actually forgot that I invited him, right? But I did, you know what I'm saying? And when I tell you, he was at his worst I've ever seen him, it's to the point where I'm like, hey, bro, it got to be more than just alcohol now. You feel me? Because he actually came with a YN, so to speak. And for y'all that don't know what a YN is, it stands for young nigga. You know what I'm saying? But he came with a YN, and they both was like hype, right? A lot of energy, but it was unneeded energy. You know what I'm saying? Like just hyped and loud for no reason. And unfortunately, he was just he just looked bad. Not from like a physical standpoint. Like if you see him and he's just quiet, he looks okay. But as far as the energy that he puts out there, it is quite annoying and obnoxious, unfortunately. There were several mutual friends there. He kept making mention of, playing one-on-one, wanting to play 21. He can beat me up. And the reason he was talking about beating me up, because if you see me now, I'm pretty solid. You see, I'm kind of solid. But I used to be skinny as fuck because I used to be a ball player, and he's still skinny. So he just kept making mention to my size, pause. And it was like, bro, why do you keep talking? Let's just enjoy each other. You know what I'm saying? Let's enjoy the environment. Kick it, watch the fight. You know what I'm saying? Just do our thing, turn up, but turn up like without the turn up that you're on. You know what I'm saying? So there's another, other people at the little kickback that, we all mutually know or whatever. He's annoying them. There's another guy that was there that played on the basketball team as well. He's all talking to him about basketball. He's calling my name. He's like, hey, bro, come get your boy. I'm like, no, that's your problem right now. Just loud the entire time. We even watching the fight, right? He's calling out my name. Hey, let's go out and play basketball. I'm like, bro, I'm watching the fucking fight. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, at this point, I'm starting to get annoyed, right? So that's pretty much the night. People, I had to like kind of tell, like my cousin, I had to tell him, let him know, like, hey, bro, just let you know, he just lit. He's harmless, but he lit. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, trying to, like, he fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Giving, people warning and shit like that. The night comes to an end as far as the kickback. People start to leave or whatever. Him and the YN are still stuck around and shit, right? And I'm like, hey, bro, it's time for y'all to go, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they leave eventually, right? And I just start to, just kind of chill out, start to decompress from the evening or whatever. And the next thing I know, the YN is knocking at the door, right? And motherfuckers go out there to see what's up. Like, hey, what's up? He's like, hey, man, he done left me. He done walked in a different direction. I rode with him. I don't got the keys. I can't get in the car. And I don't know where he's at. I'm like, the fuck you mean you don't know where this nigga at? Like, what? So we call him, right? He like, I don't know where I'm at, bruh. I'm like, what the fuck you mean you don't know where you at? I don't know where I'm at. Hey, send me your location so we can come find you. How you do that? I'm like, oh, the fuck? Now we got to go find this motherfucker, right? So some time go by. He like, oh, I'm by the Walmart. By the Walmart? The fuck you get out the neighborhood and go to the Walmart? Like, the fuck? I'm like, all right, bro, stay there. We gonna come get you. So get in the car, start driving to the Walmart, right? Or the direction of the Walmart, because we don't get to Walmart. And this motherfucker's walking down the street away from the Walmart. And I see him, right? I'm like, there go that motherfucker right there. Turn around, pick him up. I'm like, hey, bro, what the fuck is you doing, my G? Hey, man, I was arguing with my wife and shit. I'm like, first of all, you got a wife? I didn't even know you had a girl. I'm just confused at this point. But I'm irritated at this point. So pull back to the neighborhood, drop them off at their car or whatever. And that's pretty much how that night ended. So the next day, he sends me a message on Facebook, and is like, hey, bro, I saw them cops, and I just went in the other direction. I appreciate you, my boy. I'm like, last night you said you was arguing with your wife, and today you're saying you was walking away from police? So I just simply said, hey, bro, and this is in the message, tighten up, my G. You got to tighten up. And I left it at that. And it's sad because there was another mutual friend of ours that was supposed to show up, and they didn't. And I hit them up, and I'm like, hey, you better be glad you didn't show up because so-and-so was in rare form this evening. And I told them what was going on, and they had explained that their mom had ran into his mom at some point, and his mom had relayed to their mom that he has a drinking problem. But the reason I said that earlier, it got to be more than just alcohol, because I was made aware like days later that his friend had implied or made mention of having the white girl on them, like trying to sell it or seeing if somebody wanted to party. I'm like, oh shit, bruh. Yeah, you kind of was helter-skelter. Now that I think about that, that might have been more. I mean, I don't want to accuse him of fucking with the white girl, but as I mentioned, it seemed like it was more than just alcohol. That's all. I'm gonna keep it at that. So in conclusion, with these stories that I've just kind of, went into, again, I hope that these individuals, come across this episode and take it as a moment to reflect and get better if they're not already on that path. Know that I didn't tell these stories because I'm talking about you in a negative way. These are things that I've experienced with all of you individuals. And it's sad to say or even see that y'all are going through these struggles. I really hope and pray that y'all, can get it together, find the help that you need, and can live a productive life, whatever that looks like for you. And from a broader perspective, we as the Black community have to have more of these discussions, tell more of these stories, because mental illness, substance abuse, alcoholism everybody has, well, not everybody, a lot of people have experienced it, whether it's directly or indirectly, or know somebody that is struggling. And unfortunately, in our adult lives, we can only do so much for our loved ones or our friends. We can encourage them to get help. We can have these discussions. But, for the ones out there that are struggling, don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed by your struggle. The only way, or the first step to on the road to recovery, is admitting you have a problem and then figuring a way out to resolve that or get the help you need for it. I've said this on another episode. I don't have a problem with like alcohol or substance abuse, but I've recently started taking therapy last year. I haven't gone in a couple months though. I need to hit up my man's soon though. Probably next month I'll probably go to another one. But I did that for myself because no matter what your trial and tribulation is, we all go through some shit. And it's up to us if we're capable to look or seek out the help that we need. And it was so crazy, and I'm gonna kind of wrap up this pod on this last little thing. I had made mention to my mom, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm in therapy. Her first reaction was, what's wrong? And that's our problem as a community. Nothing has to be wrong for you to get help. We all need it. You feel what I'm saying? We all need it. At some point in time, whatever that looks like for you. I do encourage therapy for everyone. I feel like everybody needs to be in therapy. That's just my personal opinion, But, whatever works for you, works for you. But yeah, we all, whatever you're going through, whatever roadblocks you come across, it's okay to ask for help. It is okay. I promise you. Me personally, I don't judge a motherfucker out here because I know that things could go all the way left for me in a second. You dig what I mean? And we should all have that, have that perspective. Like, even if we are living the best life we can at this moment, things can go downhill whether you expect it or not. It's really a thing. But yeah, if you know somebody that needs help, attempt to be a support system, try to reach out to them, or if you removing yourself from that relationship is one of the only ways to assist them, it's okay to do that as well. But with that being said, anyone can talk, but not everybody can podcast. I'm out this bitch.
I hit the scene, best believe it's going digital. Being super clean, hat on lean, got me good to go. Yeah, I'm with my team, counting green, stacking plenty more. VIP status at the club, pulling all the hoes. When I hit the scene, best believe it's going digital. Being super clean, hat on lean, got me good to go. Yeah, I'm with my team, counting green, stacking plenty more. VIP status at the club, pulling all the hoes.